Hi guys, my name is Joe and this is Media Fight Monday. So on the first and third Monday of every month, I take a look at a fight from movies, TV shows, animation, etc. and I grade it based on realism and on storytelling value. Today I'm looking at a fight from the movie Kickboxer Vengeance that came out in 2016. The fight is between, I don't even know these characters because I didn't watch the movie, but Jean-Claude van Damme's character and a character played by former UFC welterweight champion Georges St-Pierre. Now, from what I've gathered on the background of the fight scene, Van Damme's character is preparing, he is in the role of the teacher preparing a student for competition against the guy that killed his brother. Very much similar plot to the first Kickboxer movie. And Georges St-Pierre's role, sort of, he's a mole in the organization. I think the juxtaposition between these two is kind of fun because I always thought St-Pierre facially resembled Van Damme just a little bit. Anyway, for the background of the participants, Georges St-Pierre started off in Kyokushin karate. During his career in mixed martial arts, he trained in things like boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, freestyle wrestling. For Jean-Claude Van Damme, I've covered him here before. Actually, I think I've covered St-Pierre here before. Yeah. His background in martial arts is primarily Shotokan karate, but you can add a little bit of kickboxing, probably some Muay Thai in there as well. Now, the choreographer for this fight is Larnell Stovall, and I started looking at his IMDb page, and I actually got pretty impressed. Among other things, he's been the fight choreographer for a movie called Bunraku, which I really liked. He's also been the fight choreographer for, at the time of recording, 31 episodes of the Titans TV show. He's been in stunts for a while. He's been in things like the Green Lantern movie, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He was a stunt double in Black Dynamite. You know, he's been in some pretty famous movies as well as some not so famous ones. So that's the setup. Fight coordinator's background, Mr. Stovall's, appears to mostly be karate, and that includes some weapons work. I read an interview that he did where he mentioned that he really liked the kama, which are the sickles, as well as the nunchaku. So the setup is that Van Damme's character is calling out St-Pierre's character for working for the bad guy, and St-Pierre mouths off to him and gets under his skin. So, opens up with a round kick to the body. Not bad. A punch misses. So Van Damme is mostly throwing counter punches. It's a nice front kick to push him away. Ducks under a big swing, slams him into the pole, and now he's got a clinch. Now the interesting thing about that style of clinch is that it can actually be used as a choke. You do see sort of that head and arm style clinch in Muay Thai sometimes. With the blade of his wrist going into the neck, again, this could be a choke, a kind of standing katagatame, or arm triangle choke. It doesn't seem that they're playing it for that, so let's move on. So he pushes St-Pierre away, and now they have the pillar between them. That looked like are they doing crescent kicks? So we see the pillars coming into play both as obstacles to keep the guy from coming after you and striking you, but also as things to throw the guy into. So I do like that they're incorporating the environment into the fight. So that's a hook kick. St-Pierre jumps up to block it or avoid it, and he just kicks Van Damme. Looks like a chest. Superman punch, because of course it is, because this is George St-Pierre, and he can't have a fight without doing that. So after recovering from that Superman punch, in the middle of the fight, Jean-Claude Van Damme decides to get undressed. St-Pierre, jab, hook, block, block, double fist punch, you know, a cornerstone of Muay Thai. They look like a punch to the leg of his income. Yeah, another punch to the body. And St-Pierre blocks the wild swing. Van Damme blocks the wild swing. Throws the elbow, and then he locks his arm. That, he had to throw the elbow in one direction, then speed around to get this sort of position. And somehow wound up getting a sort of hip throw out of that. So that was a brief sequence. Personally, I would have liked to have seen more of a fight between the two of them. As far as realism goes, they were doing an awful lot of like straight-armed swings for trained fighters. I do like that Van Damme's character went to the body a lot. That is showing something that a trained fighter would do. You know, the recognition that, okay, if I can avoid the punches that are at head level, I can start eating up the body. You know, that will it's usually done to bring a person's guard down, and it's usually used as an attrition weapon to wear them out and to cause them to lose their wind, their lung capacity a lot faster. I do like how they were incorporating the environment into it. I think there's some realism with that. Like, you know, why wouldn't you shove somebody face first into something hard or slam them back first into an obstacle? I'm not a big fan of like the big straight arm swings. I'm not going to say that it doesn't happen, but trained fighters probably have hookier hook punches. You know, with the arm bit more like this instead of straight out like that, unless the guy's at the extreme end of range. And that last sequence, I feel like something was a bit off with the choreography there. It's not unrealistic to throw a guy into something and have it break. It's not unrealistic to elbow someone and then engage them in the clinch. Just something was just off with that sequence. I would say it's more realistic than, let's say, fantastic, you know, in the realm of fantasy. You know, with all those bare knuckle punches going around, you know, nobody's busted open. That's interesting. You know, if I took a spinning elbow to the face, I'd expect, you know, a bloody lip and maybe some missing teeth. Yeah, B-. I think it was kept very grounded. Yeah, there were just like little things that I think could have been done better as far as that goes. As far as the storytelling element to it, not a whole lot going on in the fight itself. You know, we get that little bit toward the end there of, you know, Van Damme's character like, hold on, let me take off my coat and hat for some reason. Like, what did it teach us about the characters? Maybe pausing a fight to, you know, take off your accessories is sort of showing that that character was, you know, very relaxed and casual about things, even though he got pissed off enough to throw the first strike a second ago. That might be an okay character moment. Having not seen the rest of the film, I don't know if that builds on other things that we've seen or if it's out of character. I just don't know. Let's just call it a flat C. You know, nothing wrong with it, but nothing that stands out as far as character moments go. So, fun little fight. Had a few good moments in it. Like I said, I would have loved to have seen it go on a little bit longer. I think that they could have done more as far as the characters go. But without seeing the film, I'm going to allow that maybe that wasn't the point. Maybe the point was, you know, Dave Bautista's character against not Jean-Claude Van Damme. So maybe they were not afforded a great amount of time to tell this story, because maybe this story wasn't particularly important. So overall, I mean, it wasn't bad. Just I get excited when I see like real actual fighters in movie fights, and you know, when I was growing up, Van Damme movies were the sort of movies that inspired me to learn how to do the splits and throw hook kicks and all that. The excitement that I brought to this didn't get delivered. And I think that that's more of me setting my expectations differently than maybe I should have. But anyway, not a bad fight. I do like the choreographer. At least I like what he did in Bunraku. We'll get to some of those fights at a later time. It's not a well-known movie, but it's a pretty fun one. Anyway, that's all I have for now, and I'll see you guys later.